Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, Thursday evening, 8 p.m. UK time. My name is Heather Thomas. I'm the Songbird Stamper and independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Fareham in the United Kingdom, right on the south coast we are. And it's been a bit miserable here today, on and off with rain, so the perfect kind of time to sit indoors in the craft room. Hey Mandy, set an alarm to remind you. I like it. I like it. I ought to set myself an alarm as well. I only posted the reminder that I was going live today about 4 o'clock. Normally do it at 2 o'clock. A little bit behind the time. But I thought we'd have a little bit of a play with the Unbounded Beauty Suite. So it's a bit of a mega suite, this one. So it comes with flowers, the flower die set, and then the words and the word die set as well. Hey Paul, hey Shaz, nice to see you both. How are you doing? How's the weather been with you guys? Hello, Anita. Lovely to see you. Long time no see. I've been watching a couple of my friends in America have been posting on social media. The snow is awful at the moment out there. I don't know whereabouts, if I'm honest. I don't know where they live. But yeah, pretty awful weather conditions. So this paper is the paper that comes with the suite. I think it's really beautiful. I know somebody got this for their prize patrol and they were like, oh, but I actually really like it. It's got kind of florals on one side and then more watercolour backgrounds. Oh, well, they're not really watercolour actually. They're almost mixed media texture. Miserable. Rain, and more rain. Yes, that's exactly what we're having here. Yeah. Hello, Susan. Ah, lovely. You've been searching around. It's always nice to find a live on, isn't it? You can have a little bit of live crafting with us. Yeah, nice to see you from Minnesota. Thank you so much for hopping on. Hello, Eloise. Cold, big storm with rain and snow coming in for the weekend. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know what weather we've got. We're driving down to Dorset on Saturday, which will be fun. I've got a party. My party, niece's 18th birthday party. So, okay, so I have made a card. And then I did my usual. Hey, Louisa. I did my usual about 10 minutes ago. Thought, actually, it was only 5 minutes ago. Thought, I wonder if we want to try and recreate this fun fold. Who fancies giving that a go? Little kind of fun fold in the new Unbounded Beauty Suite. Because other than that, I've just got a normal bog standard card. So I thought we could do something different and then I could show you the other one. Oh, that's lovely, Shaz. Thanks for that. A yellow weather warning at the weekend. Huh. Going to be a bit rough then. Russ is driving, luckily. Well, we are doing it all in one day. Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? Nice little fold, that one. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how it's supposed to stand up. Maybe like that, actually. I've just managed to do that by accident. Maybe that's how it's supposed to stand up. Oh, golly. Storm Catherine. Fun fold, says Paul. Go on, then. Let's do a fun fold. It is a lovely one, Susan. So I've brought in, and this is all the in colour. So these are all the new in colours. And they've got this gorgeous glimmer paper as well, which I've been chopping into. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Good to be free this evening. That's good to hear. I like it. So these are all your new in colours. So this is Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop. Oh, I love that. So that's the colour I'm going to go. Summer Splash. Oh, you've had flu. Oh, and Louisa, that's rubbish. Rubbishy. I hate being poorly. I hate it. And that is Pecan Pie and Shy Shamrock. Hopefully you'll feel a bit better soon, Louisa. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll grab some cardstock. So I've gone with Summer Splash. It's a beautiful colour. It's darker than your Coastal Cabana. But it pairs nicely with it. I don't know why they've got a bit buckled. Never mind. What we're going to do is cut a normal. I'm winging this completely. So, cut a normal size card base. So whatever your normal size card base is, mine is 14.5 by 21. You're going to score it in half. Shy Shamrock is your new favourite colour, is it? Oh, your favourite new colour. Yeah. I've never been that into greens. I know, I'm going to get lynched on YouTube. A couple of my friends are very into their greens. It's just not really a colour that's ever kind of grabbed me, to be honest. I've lost my bone folder, so I'm going with my fingernail. Not ideal, but it is what it is. I need a new trimmer blade. So let's do that now. I've been all about doing that for a while. So I must say, some people make their trimmer blades last forever. I can't stand it when the card gets all, can you see it? It's all burry. Yeah, you can see that. So I'm just going to replace that. And then what we're going to do is hold it like a normal card, fold open. You're going to want to chop off down there. So I'm actually going to turn mine over. I've got a bit of a lip that side, and they recommend always have that lip so that it's hidden. It makes it easier to open the card as well. So the card's going to go that way around, and we're going to chop off from here to here. And so to do that, we're simply going to pop it in the trimmer and then line up that corner and that edge there with the center line of your guide. Now I always start with the blade in the middle, because otherwise what can happen is you can ruck that corner point and just trim up and down. Butchered our card. And what I'm going to do is grab some of the patterned paper, this beautiful one with all the florals. I'm going to cut this down to 10 by 14. That's going to go on the inside of the card. Like I say, I really ought not to wing cards. Why is that too short? Have I used the wrong half of the cardstock? Yes, that's what I've done. So let's just trim that down to 14.5. It may or may not work. If not, I'll just use the other half. And I'm just going to retrim that bit there. You know, when you cut your cardstock in half, because I cut my card bases to 14.5, I can quite easily end up with using the wrong end. So then that one will fit inside there. Perfect. Yeah, glimmer paper does dull the blade, some of it. So what I ought to do, it's a really good point, Susie, you do it all the time. I know, Shaz, we did it quite often in my class the other day. All of us kept doing, we just couldn't work out why the measurements weren't working. It was really funny. So I'm going to keep that old blade. Thank you, Susan, for reminding me. Keep your old blade, and I've just got a little pot where I put my random things, and that can be used then to cut my glimmer paper. So when I cut my glimmer paper, I should remember to change my blade out for the old one, because glimmer paper can. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love that side of the paper. Beautiful. But we're not. We're just going to stick it down. We're not going to look at it, ruining it, putting glue all over it, because I think this one, is going to work better. Like that. Okay. So that's the card so far. Now we need to cut the piece of designer series paper for the front. And I thought we could have this one. I thought that would go quite nicely. You want kind of one, you want like contrasting. That's what I'm going for. So this one's really plain. This one's really patterned. I've kind of gone for slightly different, but they're completely contrasting still. So I'm going to cut this down, and we'll just kind of massage the size of it as we need. So we're going to cut it down to 10 by 14, the same as. I actually know that we need it smaller. I'm just not sure how much smaller. 10 by 14. So that would go kind of here and here like this. Now you've got two options. The easiest way I would say to do this is to grab a pencil. That's really no help at all, is it? Where's my pencil sharpener? That the lovely Katie Jones bought me 5 of. Might take some sharpening though. There we go. So let's not put that there. Put it back. So the easiest way to do this, I think, is to line this up and then just mark. And you're not marking where the actual cut line is. There's the card. So you're just going to mark down a little bit from it. The same kind of border. It's about 2.5 mil down. And then we're going to do the same here. So I'm just going to look where that mark is, and I'm going to mark slightly in from it. Then when you bring your trimmer in, you just line up those 2 marks, just like you did before, but you're now just lining up the marks with the center point. And then this piece here should, all being well, fit perfectly in there like that. I like this fold because you get to see more of the designer series paper than you would do. I really liked all the kind of papers, and even the card I made earlier actually showcased 2 of them. But I really like this. Bit of a fun fold. I don't often do fun folds, although I think I'm warming to them as I get older. Must be all you amazing people I watch online showing me all the fun folds. There we go. That's that one. Beautiful. It does need flowers. Everything needs flowers. I know there's a few people who might disagree with me, but I personally think everything is made better with a flower. So what we're going to do now is cut another piece of this Coastal Cabana Summer Splash Freudian slip, and we are going to cut it. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. I need a ruler. I don't know where my ruler is. This could be a disaster. 2 secs. Oh. Found my ruler in my craft bag. Also found my, look at that, Stampin' Starfish on my upline. Okay, so we're going to cut this down to 21, that's handy, by 7.5. I'm going to go for it. 7.5. I was going to go a bit bigger if I want to do something else, but we'll go for it. So 21 is already down this side. 7.5. I am just going to go a few mil bigger because I want to try and do something. So what have I gone there? 7.7. And then we're going to score it in half at 10.5. And that will be our little foldable panel. Like that. And then if it's just a little bit off, you can normally just kind of line it up with your fingers, and then when you lay that down with your bone folder, just smooth that out, and then you get a nice even crisp edge along the bottom. So that's going to go on there like that. And now I was going to bring in that glimmer paper because it's just so beautiful. I think it would be almost rude not to add a bit. What do we reckon? And then a layer on top of that, or is that just going a bit overkill? Hey Joanna, lovely to see you online. Anita, you love a fun fold. Yeah, I ought to do more of them. I don't know why I don't. That's quite clever like that, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to cut this down to, look, this is what I need to do. I need to change out my blade. Oh, I know, Mandy. Honestly, it might be a bit too much, Shaz. A bit too much. It might be, but you know, I like a bit of sparkle. So we're going to cut this down just to 6.8, taking 4 mil. So 4 mil off. That's with my old blade. And this was 10.5, so we're going to want to do 10.1. It might be a bit much. Oh, look, I haven't done it wide enough now. So I'm going to have to do that, cut that one down. This is why I shouldn't wing things live. So what did I do? 7.7. Let's just trim a little bit off there. So it wants to be 7. I can't measure today. So it wants to be 7.4. So basically the 7.5 that we had. And then your glimmer paper will fit on the front. Like that. Nothing wrong with a bit of sparkle while you're here for it. Love a bit of sparkle. Lizzie is my downline. She loves a bit of sparkle as well. I'm just going to trim. I'm just making it up basically as we go along. See, this is my dull blade. I need to remember. I need to have a good memory if I'm going to change the blades out. There we go. What I tend to do is just grab a pair of scissors. So if you have this problem and you think, oh, I don't actually have any blades, just grab a pair of scissors and then run it down the edge, and it takes off all those burrs. So that you're left with a nice neat edge. You can see them all there floating away. Okay, that's going to go on there like that. Lizzie breathes out sparkle. She absolutely does, bless her. So I'm going to glue it straight down. We're going for it. We are going for it. It's only going to be a bit of, it's only going to be a hint, because I'm going to put something on the top of it. So I just think it would be really shame to not put it on there. There we go. Let's put that on there like that. And then that's your card done. Beautiful, huh? Hello, Judy. Lovely to see you. Not at all, not at all. You're never late. You're just here when you're here, is what I heard someone say once. Okay, so now we need a little bit of basic white cardstock, because obviously that's not the card done. We want to put a bit of a topper on it. So I've got no idea now what size this needs to be, because I've just made all these measurements up. So what was that? 6.7 by 10.1. 6.7 by 10.1. So we want to cut it down to 6.3. 6.3. I don't know where to put the other blade now. Oh, I'm rubbish at this game. I shouldn't play that game. I don't know what I've done with my cutting blade now. Let's get another one. Oh, here it is. 6.3 by, if it's 10.1, it's going to be 9.7. And then that, you never measure. No, I should just, I know, do you know what? I sometimes don't. Is that too much? I don't think it is, you see. I sometimes don't measure, but obviously when I'm live on YouTube for you guys, I do try. But I just tend to wing it and just do it what size I want. The worst one is when I make really complicated 3D projects and then try and write the instructions for them. I really shouldn't do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is probably just ink blend a little bit of that background. So I'm not going to go probably quite as much as here, but just a little bit. We'll just add a little bit of ink, and we're probably going to go for the pink, I think. So it's a pretty in pink. This is an older colour, I think. Like it was an old in colour. So I've just got a random piece of cardboard here, and I'm just going to take off. It's had a really bright pink on this blending brush. So I'm just going to take out the worst of that colour just by rubbing it back and forth. You won't really damage the bristles so much, so you can just rub back and forth on that, and that just takes out any excess. And then just a light blend, and it just means that it's not a stark white. And then we'll see what this looks like against the summer splash. I might regret my decision to go pink, but we'll see. So what's your favourite new in colour then? Give me some shouts. I know a lot of you are demonstrators, so which ones did you order? If you're customers, have you seen any? Which ones have you thought about that you might like? I think they're all pretty. I was very happy with this year's selection of in colours. I'm not convinced about the sparkle, if I'm completely honest. I might have gone a bit over the top, Shaz, to be honest. I'm going to try one with the summer splash as well, just to see what that looks like. So we'll chop another one down to 9.7. Same width. And then we'll grab the summer splash. I can't actually tell you which my favourite is because I don't really know. I'm going to grab this little brush because it's had a kind of pool party on. Just go really sparingly when you do this. Like even that's just a teeny bit of ink, but it's giving me a nice dark coverage. So if you want it lighter, just take the ink off first before you go onto your cardstock. Look. Really don't need much ink at all when you blend. As I say, a little bit goes a long way. Summer Splash is your favourite, Paul? Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? And there's a blend as well. I've been missing a Coastal Cabana blend. I think that looks better rather than the pink. So I think we'll go with that one. Yeah, this is the Summer Splash. Beautiful colour. Lovely, lovely. Okay, that's going to go down. I think we'll stick that down flat. Just a bit of liquid glue. Not got them, but think Summer Splash and Petunia Pop, although you do like the Pretty in Pink. I know, Mandy, they're gorgeous, aren't they? Can't wait to order them. Not long now. May the 2nd, I think it is for customers, or is it May the 1st? May the 1st. And then it will be nearly Star Wars Day, won't it? Okay, so this is going to go down kind of central. So you want to kind of have it. I don't know how else to explain it, but it looks central on the card. What you don't want is this to be too close up to that join. So it might just be easier to stick that down central like that and then tuck that one back under. But you do kind of want to check that it's not going to catch on there. Ah, thanks, Judy. We're getting there. I'm not very good at kind of winging it on air, but it's looking good. So that's going to go in the middle. I like the Tombow because you do get a little bit of a wiggle room, don't you? So that looks nice there. I think that's straight. I really struggle to tell sometimes, but I think we're looking good. So now what I thought we'd do is bring in the stamps. And I had a look in the catalogue. I can't show you the catalogue quite yet, the inside of it. And I was like, well, I'm not really sure about the stamps. But I thought, what about if we heat embossed and watercoloured and saw what these in colours were like watercoloured? Fancy that? So we've got a couple of blocks and I'll show you which stamps I've chosen. Where's the stamp set? Over here. So I've gone for the outline. This is like a 2-step stamp. Ah, hey Vicky, lovely to see you. You've got this outline here and you've got this kind of infill, and it's the same for these. So you've got outlines and infills for all of these. I wondered if we just grab the outline and stamp those onto some watercolour cardstock. It doesn't really matter which type of watercolour cardstock you use. Stampin' Up do the Fluid 100. I don't know what the one I'm using is. I don't even know where the one I'm using is. I've got it out ready and everything. There it is. It's just a piece of watercolour cardstock. I'm just going to cut it down. It doesn't need to be quite so big. I'm going to grab the Versamark and some white embossing powder. Now I keep mine in the IKEA tubs. Oh, you've just ordered it. Perfect, perfect. Perfect timing then for you. It's a really nice one. And I will get on board with the other stamps, but I really like kind of watercolouring. So my white embossing powders keeps in these IKEA tubs. It's perfect for them. They're nice and good. I kept dropping the plastic ones. I think that was because they're a bit flimsy in the hand. 6:30 a.m. and raining here. Well, we've got the rain as well, but we're not 6:30 in the morning. Gosh, early doors. You off out today anywhere? So I'm just going to stamp these flowers. I'm just going to stamp them one at a time because I can't see where I've stamped. So if I put that straight into the embossing powder, then I can see where I've stamped and where I need to put the next one. But I did notice earlier when I kind of gave this technique a little bit of practice, if you don't heat emboss it straight away, the ink can dry. So I'm just going to do one at a time. So a little bit of a public service announcement. One of my class ladies had an art and craft room, and it burnt down the other week because she had a fire with her heat tool. So I probably wasn't a Stampin' Up one, but it just any heat tool. She's not the first person I've heard. She's actually the third person. So just unplug them, please. Unplug them once you've finished using them. Don't leave them plugged in. Hello, Carol from Canada. Been a very messy day. Bless you. I had a bit of a messy day today as well, but I don't know if it's the same kind of style of messy as yours. We haven't had any snow, which is good. Probably being a bit overzealous doing them all one at a time, but we'll just do a couple this time. Just I found the ink dried and I kind of had a bit of a flat embossing. I can't actually see where I've stamped those, so. And then I just tip that in the card in and kind of shake it around, and then I get my images covered. I remember once doing heat embossing in a class, and there was a bit of a backlog, a queue formed. By the time people had got to the embossing station, the ink had all dried, and it was just a big disaster because the powder all came off. So I kind of learnt a bit of a lesson there. Stagger the use of the embossing. So I'm nearly done. Got a couple more to do. Yeah, definitely unplug the heat tool. I know. Luckily insured, but not ideal at all. New stamp room as well, so it's just devastating, that kind of thing. Any kind of fire or flood, isn't it? You just don't realise. I'm sure. Okay, so that's the first I might go on and dusted with. Those 3 stamps can go over there. And then we're nearly on to my favourite bit. Okay, now the fun part. Unplug the heat tool. I get to do a little bit of colouring, a little bit of watercolouring. So I've got a paintbrush, and I just use a normal paintbrush actually. You can use the Stampin' Up water painters, they are perfect for this, but I just happen to have a paintbrush on hand. And I do find it a bit easier with a pot of water to see how much actual water I'm using. So I'm going to grab my inks ready. What colours am I using? So I've got Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, Summer Splash, and Pretty in Pink. I don't think I'm going to introduce the the Shy Shamrock, because I think Summer Splash is going to do for the leaves instead. So 2 options: either kind of grab your pad between your fingers like that and push down with both of your palms, and that will put a little ink well in there, or alternatively grab a block, pick up the ink onto a block, however you want to do it. I'm just going to work one at a time. So we'll do the leaves first. Yeah, it's so sad. Really, really sad for her, bless her. And I'm just putting some water onto that leaf there. And then I'm just going to pick up some of that and then just dabbing it in. I love how you can see how I hope you can see this, where the colour kind of reacts with that water. And if you want darker bits, once it's just drying, go back in with the dark in the middle where the veins are. You can just go back in. And I love the fact that you just get to keep playing with watercolour until you're happy with it. I'll lift that up to the camera so hopefully you can see a bit better. There we go. So you can just keep playing with it until you're happy. These are the little leaves. That's what they look like there. We'll do all three of those. It's very therapeutic. You literally just water, then pick up some of the ink and dabbing it down and letting the water wick that away. I'm not running any colouring courses this year. I'm having a bit of a break from them, but I've had a few requests for alcohol marker course for next year. So if anybody is interested, I may do it. Maybe this year. I'm talking about the Stampin' Up year. I've had the Stampin' Up year off, but it may be that I run another, and I could be tempted for another watercolouring course as well. Depends who's interested. I don't want to kind of push the courses if people aren't wanting to do them, but if there's interest, I'm more than happy to do them. I love them. I just needed a little bit of a break. I'd done them fairly consistently for about 3 years, two a year. Needed a little bit of a time. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. Okay, so that's that one. Then we're going to bring in the peach pie. So you can see this is where I've got this from earlier. So make sure your brush is nice and clean, otherwise you'll just start to kind of poison your water, for want of a better word. Just put that water down. So you're just painting the whole area, the whole flower in that. And it's you'll learn over time how much water. So when I think I've got too much on there, what I do is I grab my paintbrush, squeeze it out between my fingers, then wipe my fingers on my trousers, and then you can go and pick up a little bit more of that water and it just dries it out a little bit. But you'll figure out in time how much water. If you see me doing that, that's what I'm doing. It's just cleaning the water. Oh, you'd love to learn more about watercolour. Louisa, I know, I just love teaching it. It's so great to see people kind of flourish. So same as before, I'm just using the water to wick. So I'm putting the watercolour, can you see? And I've let it dry a little bit too long as I was procrastinating. That's fine. We just rinse off our brush and we come back in and add a bit more water and let that watercolour do its thing. Let it wick away. Come all the way to the edges with that pale colour, and then we can pick up some of that darker colour and keep going back in. The centres of it's going to be darker. The centre of the flower just there is going to be darker, and then these petals are just going to be dark at the base, getting lighter as they go further out. So there you go. Oh, and you, Jill, as well. Yeah, absolutely. What I need to start doing, I think, is start kind of, if you're not signed up to my newsletters, that's the place to find out about all my stuff. So you can head to my website and you can find out about my newsletter, or come on over and join us in the Songbird's Nest. That's my VIP Facebook group. That's where you'll see more things. It's really difficult on Facebook. Sometimes you don't get to see stuff. It depends on how the algorithm works. So if you join the Nest, you'll see more stuff inside our group. And so I've just done this flower here, this white one, and then I'm just going to pop in some of that colour into the centre. And again, just letting the water do the work. It's really loose. It's not kind of artsy, just really loose watercolouring. And then you can go back in with a clean paintbrush and just spread that ink around. No, this is not a posh brush. It's just a Pro Art, so it's a student grade. It's just a paintbrush. Not my posh. I bought a really nice paintbrush. Oh, I hope I know where I think I have to put it in my paintbrush pot. Not in my pot. I've got a little kind of pencil case. I bought a really posh brush out in Rotterdam. We went to the art shop. It was so lovely. There's about 8 of us went to the art shop together. They must have been like, what on earth? When we all walked in, and it was expensive. It was 20 quid for one brush. I haven't used it yet, but it's a petal brush, so you get a really nice long tip, and it's for painting flowers. So not for kind of this kind of colouring, not colouring stamped images, but for actually painting flowers. And I've been after one for a while, and I thought I'd treat myself. They were a bit cheaper over there, so I think it's because they've got access, because they're on the continent. There's quite a lot of German manufacturers. I nearly bought myself some Schminke watercolours, but I did resist. I had them in my hand and everything. So again, just picking up that ink and then just dabbing it at the base of all of the petals. And it doesn't really matter if you don't have to be precise. Just going to let that colour wick away, as I say. And you can go in and add some darker as it's kind of drying. Or you can go back in with a damp brush, not a wet one, just a damp one, and just smooth that colour out a little bit. In my course, we talk a lot about different types of papers, and they have a huge effect on your colouring. But look at that, beautiful. So I'm doing one big flower and one little flower in each colour. I love the magic of watercolour. And then the Petunia Pop. Potentially my favourite, just because I love purple. So it look a bit weird at first on the white card with that white line. You kind of lose the shape of the flower because you can't distinguish it, but it will all come together in a bit. So this is that Petunia Pop. I've got lots of water on this one, so it's just going to wick really nicely. And then I'm just going to grab a bit more. Go a little bit darker. The centres of those petals. There we go. And one more. If you're bored already, I could sit and watercolour for hours, I think. There we go. So now what we need to do is cut them out. There are dies for these. I will warn you though, if you've watercoloured, just make sure that you're look, I got this lovely thing for Christmas. It's a bit dirty at the moment, but you put your paintbrushes in and it dries them tip down. So I no longer leave them in the water, which damages the tips of them. So here's a couple that I prepared earlier. And look, you now see that they're far more flower-like. I think just that white background really helps you to, the white embossing really helps to kind of, I don't want to say dull it down, but make it far more subtle, far more neutral. But yeah, what I was going to say is just be careful you don't smudge any of the ink while it's still drying. And if you put it through the die cut machine, you can definitely do that, and it kind of, the ink transfers onto the plates. I've been caught out a couple of times, and then die cut something else out afterwards, and the white card that you put through the die cut machine is now not white. It is whichever colour of water you were working with before. So I'm just going to cut these leaves out So they do have dies. I just like fussy cutting, and they're not 100% dry yet. So you don't need to be too fussy. I know it's called fussy cutting, but we can just go roughly around the outside. So what's everyone else's plans for the weekend then? Anything or nothing at all? It's that kind of April, it's that kind of in-between period, isn't it? It's not wintry enough to kind of feel content hibernating, but neither is it summer enough to kind of go outdoors. Although last weekend was beautiful. We went for a really muddy bike ride on the Sunday. So if you know my problem with my legs, I can't walk, but I can cycle because the leg is in a seated position rather than an extended position when I'm walking. So it was lovely. We got out on the bikes. Russ took us. He said, I know where we're going. We're going to have lunch in a country pub. So we've got about a 15-minute cycle to get there, which was good because we didn't leave till lunchtime. And then we were going to have lunch and then go for a bit of a cycle ride. Sadly, the route that he took us on was through a forest, like no track. It was just through the middle of the wood. We had to lift the bikes over dead tree trunks. I cycled in mud I didn't think was even possible to cycle in. Cycled through the woods. He walked a lot of it, but again, I couldn't walk it. It is so relaxing to watercolor, Anita. So relaxing. And then by the time we found a road, we were literally about 3 minutes away from the pub. It was so funny. And we had a really nice ploughman's lunch. It was, I think they did quite a clever thing, actually. I don't know whether it was a special for the bank holiday. The only thing they were serving was ploughman's. And it was funny because I looked at the menu and I was like, well, I could fancy a ploughman's. I could do a ploughman's. And the guy in front of me said, good job, really. I was like, yeah, it is a good job. So we had a lovely ham and cheese ploughman's. I think they just don't know how many people they're going to get. It was an Easter weekend. They didn't know what the weather was going to be doing. So just offer one thing and then they can serve as many people. We sat outside, even though it was a bit chilly. We sat outside and had our ploughman's and then cycled the roadway back, which was a bit longer, but really nice. More decorating Monday. Been sanding for 5 days. Oh gosh. Yeah, that sounds pretty tedious. I hate prep work for decorating. I just don't do it. Like annoys Russ at no end. He's like, why don't you just fill the wall? I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to paint it a pretty colour. So he does all the prep work and I do the painting. All your crossed off pod behind the spare room. Oh, so you can't even get in and do any crafting. Well, that's not good. So is that motivation to get the decorating done? So all I'm doing now is just kind of massaging those between my fingers and to kind of put them into a flower shape. So we're just, I mean, you're never going to get it exact. You're going to have little crinkles in it and everything. But I thought this just looked really cute. There's the flowers. And can you see, I think they look much better than when they first started on that paper, because you can actually see glossing. Russ hates glossing as well, so I'm to do all the cutting in. I'm actually quite good at cutting in. I think so anyway. He is not 100% convinced, but I think I'm pretty good at it. And I don't need the masking tape. I just go for it freehand. So I've got some leaves, and again, we can just put these into little leaf shapes, just bend them. So I do the cutting in and the glossing, and he does the prep work and painting the ceilings, because I just don't get it. I don't look up. Why do you need to paint the ceiling? I don't understand. So that's his job. I did, I think, do it in here. I don't remember. So I decorated my room when we first moved in, and I don't remember painting the ceiling. Russ said I did, so I had to look back through Google Photos, and sure enough, I've got pictures of me with white speckled arms. So I must have done. So we're just going to kind of make a little flower arrangement on the front of our card, really. I don't know what you think to that. I don't know where that one's going to go, actually. We'll go under there and then just kind of rearrange it like that. Something like that. So we can start. There is actually a really nice die cut. I just don't know if I'm going to get it on as well. Let me grab in the dies and we'll see what we can do. Oh, I have your dies. Let me put the embossing powder away. That's first job. So I'll move that carefully because I really like that arrangement. These are the Flowers of Beauty dies. So you've got these little flowers here, which are really good. You can cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at a time. You've got these ones here that are kind of more intricate dies. A big room, lots of doors, lots of painting, and I'm dreading doing the ceiling. Oh no, torn a rotary cuff. I think I'd probably use that as an excuse if I were you, Monday. Hire a professional. And these ones cut out the stamped images. I know they're so expensive, they're tradesmen, aren't they? We've just had one of our solar panels. The second one's gone in a year and 2 months, 14 months, and they're saying that we've got to pay for the scaffolding, which we don't agree with. So a little bit of a battle may ensue. These are the Unbounded Beauty dies. Unbounded Love dies. These are the ones that go with the sentiment set, but I really like these leaves. So I'm just going to cut a few of those out because they go quite well with this set. You could just throw it up. If everything's covered, do that. Chuck it up there. Have you got like a long-handled roller? That's what we've got. It's actually quite good, but it probably still doesn't help if you've torn a rotary cuff. It sounds painful. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to pain. I went to the I don't know which one of the specialists I was seeing about my leg, and I said, "Oh, I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to pain." He said, "You know what? In all the years I've worked, nobody's ever said that. Everyone apparently says that they, want really good pain tolerance." I'm like, "Nah, no chance. I don't have any pain tolerance at all." Which it does not help when you've got a problem. You have the long handle one. Yeah, good. Ah, thanks, Anita. Yeah, they're gorgeous colours, aren't they? I love these new in colours. Thanks, Joanna. Yeah, they look gorgeous together. They look a little bit bright in the light that you can see on the screen, that I can see on my screen, but they look a lot better. They look a bit richer in person. So I just thought a few of these leaves coming out here, but I don't want to mess my arrangement up too much. So I might just kind of stick the arrangement down and then put the leaves underneath. I'll just cut a few and then we get going. And then I'll show you the other card I made at the end as well. Obviously we're not going to get time to make it, but I can show it to you. Give you a little bit of inspiration with this week because I don't know, they didn't show this kind of technique in the catalogue so much, so and it's hard. I know it's hard when new stuff comes out, and there's not a lot on Pinterest at the moment. So I like to be able to kind of show you different ideas with it. Thank you so much, Carol. I'm aware that you're just sat there looking at the picture of my card at the moment. Right, there we go. So the way I would do this, I normally take a picture of it. So I might, if you've watched my lives, you might have seen me do this before. I will take a picture. Because then if I can't remember where they go and I mess it all up, then I can look back. And then I'll grab my dimensionals. Got big ones and little ones. Might need a new pack actually. And then I'm just going to stick these, because it's watercolour cardstock, it's quite a rigid cardstock. Don't actually need a lot of dimensionals on the back. So I literally just use one. And then one on that one. And then the leaves can be stuck round underneath. So the flowers, the way up, I'm going to put them the way up with the kind of spray coming up. Yeah, you could paint some darker colour leaves. I decided not to. I decided 3 colours was probably enough. Sorry, 4 colours was probably enough. But yes, Mary, you absolutely could. And I know that you love a bit of shy shamrock. So you absolutely could add some of that as well to tie it in with these darker leaves on the background. I think Mary's saying it's a great idea. I'm not going to, but you could. You could. So I'm just going to use a little dimensional on the back of there. Again, you could use a bigger one if you wanted to. But I'm just going to tuck that under. And that just allows that to really lift up. And then I'll pop that one under with a bit of glue. I might put the double one under there actually, because there is room for it. Yes, I will put the double one under there. Right, not right now. I think I'm done with watercoloring and embossing. That was enough for all of us for one evening. No, I could honestly, I could do it. I could do watercoloring and fussy cutting for a lot longer. Thoroughly enjoy. So in hindsight, looking at this, I probably would have done a little bit less shading around the edge, just so that I had some white showing through, because I have trying to decide where that one's going. So this is where it's useful to have your picture. If you liked your layout before, you can just refer back to it if you can find it. And then I'm just going to switch around those two so that I've not got one colour next to the other. And then this one, because it's going to go above the leaf, I'm actually just going to put 2 dimensionals, one on top of the other. Don't forget to take the backing off the first one though. And then that flower can just sit over the top. This one only needs one here though, I think. Like that. And then that leaf. Just with a bit of wet glue, I'm just going to pop that one on. Just because I've got that other flower to go as well. And I want that flower to go over the leaf. So that's going to go just there. Should have given it more time to dry, but that's okay. I can put that down. Just give it a good old press. Tombows are great glue. It just needs a bit of time to set sometimes. So that's there like that. And then we can just add in a few of these little die cut leaves. Just to finish. There's another one here. Might need. Well, let's try and have a look. I'm not a fan of poking all the bits out, but some people find this really satisfying. Just sitting there poking all the little bits out. I don't mind if it's a few, but I get it's a bit tedious. So that one there as well, that's really nice, just that one under there. And then that is almost that. Just needs finishing off. Oh, thank you so much, Mandy. Yeah, I'm glad too. I'm glad it came together. I get really nervous when I haven't prepared it, because I'm like, oh, I don't know what it's going to look like. So I'm not convinced. I don't know what sentiment I would put on the front. The Unbounded Beauty does have this little die, which is quite handy. So something like that over the front might be quite nice. I'm probably just going to leave it. And then it doesn't always need a sentiment on the front. And then, like this one, didn't have a sentiment. So I'm probably doing a true case. And then just on the inside, we'll cut another piece of white. This is the basic white cardstock. And I'm just going to have to measure this because we had a bit of a faff. I say we, the royal we. I had a bit of a faff with choosing what size to cut this to. So it wants to be 6.7. 6.7 by 10.1 for this. 6.7 by 10.1. And then that can go on the inside. I might just choose that happy birthday greeting and do a nice birthday card. I need a nice card for my niece's birthday party. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? What do you reckon? 18th birthday. Oh, and we need some gems perhaps as well. Let's see if we can find some sparkles to put on there. So happy birthday, just in the middle. So these new photopolymer stamps sometimes just need the like residue taking off them. So if I was to stamp this, let's grab the, and I'll see if it does it. It was doing it earlier. The Summer Splash, I was doing it with the Petunia Pop earlier. And a little bit of white card. Let's see if I've got a scrap. So a little bit of scrap of white card. And if I just stamp this, can you see it's a bit blotchy? Can you see that? So what I tend to do is you need to just prime the stamp sometimes, not all the time. Stampin' Up uses a good quality material, but I'm just rubbing that against the cardstock here. And I'm just going to stamp a few times with it. And then I'm going to stamp on there. And it will just keep improving as you go. So it's a little bit less. Ah, Rose is beautiful. Thank you. So it's a little bit less blotchy than that side. But where the ink is new and the stamp is new, I would tend to just kind of stamp it a few times. Squiggle it around a little bit. Just every now and again you get one that's got the residue, the film on it. Choose which way up your cardstock's going to go. And your name for a room for a name at the top. I'm just going to tell you a little story. One of the reasons I started making cards was because I was fed up with buying shop bought cards that had the sentiment in the middle. And I was like, I don't know now where to put my message. I can't put my message above it and I can't put my message below it because it won't fit. And that's genuinely one of the reasons I started making cards, was so that I could put their name, I could stamp the sentiment, and then I could write a message. Isn't it funny? I'd love to know how you guys, why you got into card making. I ought to put one of that in my Facebook group, the Songbird's Nest. I might ought to start a little poll. Tell me why you got into crafting. I'd love to know. So that's just going to go on the inside of here like this. What I could do, because it's our 18, oh, I tell you what, how long we got? 2 minutes, never mind. Let's go. I'm going to just grab a 1 and an 8 from my die stash and see if I can't cut that out of sparkly glimmer paper, because I think that would be lovely. So there we go. There's our card for now. Happy birthday. Beautiful font, isn't it, Shaz? It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And then, which one's got the numbers in it? Is it the mini alphabet die doesn't have numbers, does it? Is it the one that we've just retired? I'm going to bring my memory. It's gone. So, oh, alphabet a la mode. That's the one. I don't think it has retired, actually. A la mode. Well done, Mandy. Well done, that lass. I hope this isn't retired. Anyway, I'm not letting it go. The big numbers was kind of before my time. Like, it was, I was definitely a demo while we had them, but I wasn't buying a lot. I just started and I wasn't running classes, so I was really watching the pennies of what I could spend, like a lot of people. And that's why I started classes, because I wanted to be able to spend more. So I don't know where this is going to go. I haven't got a clue, but let's see if we can make it happen. If not, it might have to go on the inside, but we'll see. Here is the sparkly paper. Let's see what this looks like cut out. I also like it when you can kind of, I hate this expression, but to kill two birds with one stone. So if this works, and Russ is happy with it, he came up to me, he said to me this evening, he said, we need a card. I've probably got one in the stash somewhere, but quite nice to be able to have one. I don't know how I'm going to stick this on. I might have to figure this out off air. But I quite like that. That's really lovely, isn't it? I just need to figure out how to stick it down over all the lumpy bits. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But we'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Let me just show you the other card that I was going to make with you and then didn't. Let me put those dies on the safe. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. So this is the one that we were going to make. So that's the one we've just made. That's the one that we were going to make. So 2 completely different cards. Thank you so much, Shaz. Thank you, Joanna. So there's our second one, and it's just a design series paper, obviously the petunia pop, a little bit of that glimmer paper, some of the die cuts. That's the die cut for the Out of the Flowers set. I just love some of these sayings. Hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow. So, hey, Julie. Oh, it's Jules. Hello, Jules. How are you? Like, they're the ones that we've made. I'm just going to take those off because I know I can see the numbers have just popped up just as we're coming off air. So I was going to show you the inside of this one. A little bit of a fancy fold, ready for you to go. So all the kind of instructions are in that video. Any questions, you guys know where I am. So do reach out. Always happy to help answer your questions. Leave me a comment in YouTube or send me a direct message. Come and join the Facebook group and have some fun with us over there. I'm just going to check my work calendar for next week. I've got a feeling I'm working nights, which is sad. Yeah, I'm on the night shift next week, so no live from me next week. Thank you so much, Judy. Bless your heart. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, hopefully she'll be. I asked what the dress code was because I'm really a jeans and jumper kind of person. I don't dress up. I was like, I'd hate to come wearing this wrong thing, but I was told the girls will be dressing up, but it's not a dress up occasion if you don't want to. So come as you feel comfortable, which was lovely. So no live for me next week, guys. I will be back on the 18th, and then that will be my last one before we go to Mexico. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Very, very thrilled. And I have to say, because I shouldn't mention it otherwise, but very small handful, less than 1% of demonstrators achieve the trip. And I don't say that to be big-headed. I say it because it's a legal requirement, so that people know how much effort is involved and you're not expecting it from the normal demonstratorship. But yeah, we're really excited, and I can't wait to go. But I will see you before that. I'll see you on the 18th. And yeah, you know where I am. Take care, guys. Have a lovely Thursday evening, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you really soon. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.